These are the minifigures from set 76114, Spider-Man Spider Crawler. And I really love these figures. The only reason I got the set was for the figures. The set does come with a Spider Crawler, which I will not need. I'm not interested in keeping that. I just collect superhero and supervillain minifigures, and all these figures are great. I really wanted the set just for these, and just made sense. I found it for, I believe, $32 on Google Express. If you buy it straight from Target, it's regular price, which is kind of weird. But so yeah, Google Express, it's great to use. Find some deals sometimes, not all the time, but yeah, the figures are fantastic. I'm really excited to look at these figures closer. Here is the main minifigure of the set, Spider-Man, of course. It's really cool how they did the dual molding. Some people, you might be a Lego fan, you might not be, but for those of you who don't know, these legs, they're getting done more and more, which is really cool. They're dual molded, so two different colors of plastic in that. So it just adds a little bit more detail to it rather than just having blue legs. The other Spider-Man, there's been variations, but some of them come with just straight blue legs. So this is really cool. The detail on his chest is very nice. Underneath the webbing, you can see there's actually musculature that pops through. So really cool how they can get that detail in there. And then, yeah, it's just a regular Spider-Man. That old logo on the back is really cool. Yeah, going classic. And then the silver around the eyes. I think it's a blue silver, so the detail in there. It's just nice when they add a little bit more detail into the figures. And yeah, that's Spider-Man. This guy is probably my favorite Spider-Man figure. Possibly second favorite, just because Miles Morales with the black suit and the red webbing is really sick. But the detailing on this, you can see on his head, there's like almost like a comic-y print, like the old-timey comic books. Almost dot printing. It's really cool how they did that. And then, of course, the front side, the design on the front of his chest and his eyes. It's just a sick figure. The only downside I have, or I guess complaint, would be that they would do more detail on his legs. His legs, just like I mentioned on the other Spider-Man. The other Spider-Man had dual molded legs. You don't have to necessarily do dual molded, because I think Spider-Man 2099 doesn't have different colored boots. But if you did some kind of printing on there, that'd be really cool. And it's not out of the question. They've done leg printing like tons of times. But overall, this is one of my favorite minifigures that I have. This is the Sandman figure. This piece here, I know comes from another set, but I'm not entirely sure which one. I think it might be a Ninjago set. But yeah, the build is really cool, how they make it like kind of collecting dirt and sand. He also comes with this really cool hammer. There's been a couple of really good hammer builds recently, just in different sets, including this one. So this is definitely one of those collectible figures that, I mean, I definitely wanted to get my hands on. The print here you can see, you know, in Spider-Man 3, when Sandman was in that movie, he had this green striped shirt. And I didn't actually realize that until now, but there is a couple of green stripes on there, which is probably just a nod to that version, which is pretty cool. The hair I recognize from, me personally, I recognize from Magneto, so that's kind of off-putting. But there's only so many hairstyles that Lego has, so they get recycled, which is fine. It's cool. Not a huge deal at all. It's this compartment. This is actually a compartment. It's on a hinge here. It's meant to open up, and there's like jewels that are supposed to be inside there, but I didn't include the jewels just because that's not the purpose I have it for. I have this for display, just like all my other minifigures. So this is the Vulture. I think this is the second iteration of the Vulture that we've gotten. I could be absolutely wrong on that, but this is a very well done, I think it's a well done figure, even though it is super simple. You do have these studs showing here. It's not as smooth as the previous version from Spider-Man Homecoming, but this really makes me think about, I guess it was 1990, I don't know the exact date, but in the 1990s there was a Spider-Man cartoon, and this is pretty much pretty accurate to the Vulture that was in that cartoon, except around his collar area there was white feathering, and the guy would change from old to young. I'm not entirely sure if that was a superpower or if that was like through technology. But here they have him as the old version, and I think that's actually the same head. Yeah, it is. This is the same head as Spider-Man Homecoming one. So the feathers, it's really cool how, there you go, you can see that. How they have that detail, they create the point on it. But one thing, and I'm sure Lego enthusiasts, fans, whatever you want to call them, we don't really, I think as a majority, don't like stickers. They really suck to put on, and can be very troublesome as far as getting all the spacing around even. I think I do a pretty good job at getting them pretty good, pretty even. But it is always a challenge. And other than that, you know, yeah, these are printed. So I don't know. Maybe there's just more uses for this versus this green kind of techno detail. Yeah, I really like the detail of the fans. The detail on his body is really great. They're getting a lot better, I think, just as time goes on. Yeah, I watch Jang Bricks and M&R Productions, and they both have talked about the quality of prints on the Lego minifigures bodies, and it's pretty much, I mean, I was gonna say unanimous across the board. That's only two guys, but I think they're doing really well. You'll see issues is like in Star Wars figures on like droids, or maybe even if they have connecting facial features onto the back of the head for minifigures, then the lines might be off a little bit or whatnot. I haven't seen too many issues. I've seen maybe a print where you could see, yeah, that's another figure, Deadshot figure I just got, but that's for another day. Basically just the leg print was off. Yeah, this is pretty sick. The back, very, very simple. Everything is very simple on this figure. This guy, he's got a lot going on. Just real quick, I know he's not a part of the set. that I'm looking at. But, you know, there's that white feathering in the collar. As I said before, this is a lot smoother versus the studs that are left open or left in sight on the front of the wings from the other Vulture. And then it's just a lot bulkier, I think. The wings themselves, these are wider. These are supposed to represent the fans, which I think were represented right here on either side. So no stickers on the wing, on the feathering out here. He's got blasters in place here, which the other one doesn't. The other one came with a blaster. I have it right here, but I just didn't want it in his hand while I was looking at him. This one has stickers as well on the back side, and then like the jet propulsion engines. But yeah, and then you know, you've got the helmet that goes with this one too. Like I said, the same head. Just realized as I was turning him, there's like these aging marks, freckles or whatever. So that's pretty cool that they included those little freckles on either side of his face, detailing there, show his age. So overall, great. I think it's a great figure. As a whole, this is a great collection of figures. Really happy with what Lego did. Also, I didn't mention before, but I may have mentioned, not entirely sure, but the spider webbing, I have that as well, so that you can put that in their hands, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099, to make it look like they're shooting webs and all that stuff. But I haven't opened this. I might not keep it. I already have some from other sets. So anyway, those do come with the set. Leave a comment, I guess, or if you don't want to, that's fine. You do you. But if you do leave a comment, I'll try to respond if there's any questions, or I love just discussing minifigures in general. It's just fun. If you want to subscribe to the channel, then go ahead and do so, and I will try to get some more videos going as soon as possible. We'll see you on the next video.